Okay, so I am working on trying to make this a little bit more polished and professional. Um, and so, what I want to do is to kind of go over some things that I would love to discuss on this channel. And as I grow and change my background and the way I speak and the way I present the information, you guys will see the entire process of my growth. So, um, this is all new to me, stepping out of my shell and getting comfortable with being critiqued on a level like this. Like, I've had people critique me and say things not so nice and nice about me on a personal level. But as far as like being exposed on this level and showcasing my creativity and the things that I'm interested in so that possibly hundreds or millions of people can view it is a little intimidating. But I am here and I know that I have a lot to say and I have a lot to share, and I am no longer afraid to share it. So, some of the things that you will expect or can expect from the beloved wildflower. One of the things that I want to have on the show is called the Wildflowers in the Attic, which is all of the old stories, voice recordings, and different things that I have stored in the attic of my mind and in the small spaces of my heart that I did not feel was worthy enough to come to the light and to share with people. But those days are over, right? Stepping into the new version of myself, which is loving myself, all of myself, critiquing myself, and understanding that as I grow and change, different things in me will grow and change on the inside that will reflect on the outside. And I just got to take time. I'm not rushing for perfection anymore. I'm not rushing to be a fan favorite of anyone. I am running towards the heart of the Most High. That's it. And no, this is not a religious channel. And no, I am not going to holy pimp anybody into following me because of what I stand for and what I believe. And I say holy pimping because a lot of people do that. They pimp out the word of the Most High so that they can make a profit and get big platforms, and that's not what's going to pop off over here. So, Wildflowers in the Attic is a collection of my old poems, short stories from my personal vault. I love to write, and I am a published author. I will share when new books will be published, book readings, book signings, etc. for our brand, Piggy Reads. Yes, that is my pseudonym name, Piggy Reads, and it's Piggyyreads, Piggy Reads. Okay. Thorns and Thistles. I got a little script here. Thorns and Thistles is shorts. They're going to be history shorts, and I'm just going to share with you guys some of the information that I've come across about things that are interesting to me in history that we're not taught in history class. You know, you're often taught about the same people, and I'm not disrespecting none of the ones, the greats that came before us, but you're told about, you know, the Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, but there are a lot of other ancestors and pioneers that came as well to do some great work, and their stories are not spoken about a lot. So my goal is to share those history facts. So Thorns and Thistles, history facts and fascinating things. And yes, I do like a good conspiracy every once in a while. I do have a tinfoil crown. Okay, I'm just playing. No, I don't. But I do like conspiracies every once in a while, you know. So we might tap into those. The Thorns and Thistles shorts. That's what it is. The Thorns and Thistles. The reason why I titled it that is because history is a very bitter, prickly thing. You know, we've been told to sugarcoat it, to hide it, to get rid of it, forget about it. But these are people who lived and walked this earth just like we do. And they had stories, they had romances, they had dreams and goals and aspirations. And I feel like at some point in our lives, all of us have to really sit down with history and really recognize that, you know, these aren't fictional characters. These people really live this horrific life. You know, when I got a bunch of books on the sugarcane plantations, I'm they were far worse than the cotton plantations, and I was never knew about the sugarcane plantations until I got older. They weren't talked about in school. You heard about the cotton plantations, and it just all of the different things that unfortunately the ancestors had to go through so that we can be on platforms like this today and we can speak. So um, I want to do my part in being Ezekiel to some extent, not in an arrogant perspective, but to raise up some dry bones, meaning like showcase and highlight some of the thorns and thistles of history that we don't want to talk about. And so I will be hitting a lot on the indigenous American Indians who were very fierce warriors, healers, alchemists. They were brilliant people. And some of the stuff that I have come across while I'm in the process of writing my first novel, my third book. So the Thorns and Thistles will be a combination of all those things, and I hope you guys can enjoy those. Now, when I'm going to be posting these videos, I have to really work on a schedule, okay? I'm guilty of that. And by making this video, it's holding me accountable. So the more videos I make saying what I'm going to do, it holds me accountable, because now it's like, okay, well, you put this out there and you said you were going to do X, Y, and Z. So it's giving me a reason to have higher expectations for myself, which is why I'm forcing myself to present this information so that I can be more accountable. And holding myself more accountable and keeping my promise to myself helps build my confidence, and it helps build the brand, and helps push further the dreams and goals, the big dreams and goals that I have for our family. And so by doing just this is helping me be more accountable to myself and be more responsible, respectful, and loving for myself by saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and actually following through it. Okay. Spiritual food shorts. So the spiritual food shorts will be scriptures from the Bible and remove books, and just different books that I've come across that have inspired me, like the Four Agreements. I love that book. Excuse me. I'm currently reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Another book that I read that was very beautiful and inspiring was the dang it, the title's right in my face, but I can't get it out. Dang it, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence. I can't remember her last name. I think y'all just heard my dryer. But The Game of Life and How to Play It, that had some beautiful gems in it. So spiritual food shorts will be books, scriptures, mostly diving into the remove books that the church decided you shouldn't read, which piques my curiosity even more, because who are you to tell me what I can and cannot read, right? So that makes me want to go read it even more. We will dive into the Gnostics of Mary and Judas and Thomas, and the book of Jasher, the book of Jubilee, some of the Pseudepigrapha, different books that were removed that were deemed not necessary for you to know, which is interesting because in Mary's book, the Gnostic of Mary, one of the things that stood out to me is when Christ said, when you are troubled, go to nature. So you grounding and being outside is not weird. It's not new age stuff. When Yeshua HaMashiach was troubled, he would go to nature. He would go outside. And your ancient tribal ancestors did the same thing. They were very much in tune with nature, and that's why they were master alchemists and healers. They were able to heal everything. Even when smallpox and all of these other diseases came over, your ancient ancestors were very in tune with nature in a way where they were very healthy even during those times. History is going to tell one side because it's always his story, it's not their story, right? So one of the African proverbs that I really love is, until the story of the lion is told, the hunter will always be glorified. So history is only through the perception and the lenses of those who conquered, okay? You will not find many books actually from the voices of those who were conquered. I found one book recently, about like perspectives from like slaves, their stories. And even with that, the author was obviously not a slave. So again, you have someone else's perspective, someone else writing someone else's story. Um, the ancestors of America were not illiterate in the way that we think they are we told that they are. They spoke different languages. The tribes all had different languages, but they could also very well understand each other. So you had the tribes of the South, and you had the tribes of the North. You had the tribes of Mexico. You had the tribes of South America. You had the tribes of Canada. They all had different dialects, but they could understand each other. And a lot of their stories were told through oral teachings. So it wasn't like these people that were in America were just dumb, as history likes to say, that they were savages and they were beasts and they were cannibals. They weren't. Again, you got to realize that in order to paint a certain picture about someone, you have to put certain imagery in the minds of people so that they can believe that it was necessary for you to go do what you did to these people because they were so-called savages. And so I'm kind of going on a tangent, so I'm going to stop. But the spiritual shorts and thorns and thistles will be a combination, like I said, of history and different inspirational things that I have come across that I enjoy. Different books that I have read throughout the years that have inspired me to change and be a better woman. So yeah, that's those things. Inspiring quotes, I'll be sharing those. Gardening tips. My husband is the guru of gardening. I love the flowers, and I do my best to take care of the flowers. Ultimately, the Most High takes care of everything. You know what I mean? Like, people pride themselves on how well their yards are kept, but if the Most High did not manicure the soil properly and did not provide the sun and the rain, and none of the stuff you have will grow. Okay, so all we do is manage. As humans, all we do is manage the garden. And as I'm learning how to be more in tune with my garden and with our garden, I'm realizing there's some battles you just let go. Like, for instance, I don't spray our roses. I think it's beautiful to see people who have these beautiful, well-manicured rose gardens, and there's like no holes or anything in their leaves, and it's miraculous. I don't have the time and energy to go out and spray all the bugs, and I also understand that there's duality in everything. So for the rose, you have the Japanese beetle. The Most High paired those two together for a reason, so I just kind of let them go. Now, when it comes to our food, that's different because we're eating that. But as far as like our landscape, though, is it perfect and well manicured? No, I kind of want it to look wild. When I first started planting flowers, I said, "Oh, here goes arrogance and ego." I was like, "Oh, I want our yard to be the talk of the lawn, of the yards or whatever, and I want it to be so manicured and so pretty. I want it to look like something from Better Homes and Garden," right? That was initially what I wanted to do. But as I start growing and maturing inside myself, the more I realize, okay, these wildflowers that you're spraying actually are medicinal, and give them opportunity to be beautiful. Just let them be. This is what the Most High created them for, and let them be wildflowers. So I just let a lot of the wildflowers be wildflowers, like the fleabane. That's considered a weed. I just let her pop up. I contain her to the best of my ability. Like, I don't allow her to just take over, but we let the fleabane just be fleabane. You go ahead, girl. As far as like the food, my husband is the master gardener of that. So he will be coming on sometime to share tips on the things that he finds. And when I say master gardener, in my mind, he's a master gardener. Does he have a little piece of paper that says he's a master gardener? No. But is he very observant? Does he care? Does he have a lot of passion in it? Yes, he does. He will take the time to get on YouTube or research or read articles and different things to find out how to amend the soil and what natural ways we can repel certain bugs, and how we need to, respect the earth. And so he's very much in tune with the garden, and I love watching him, this big, cocky, strong man, this wonderful provider, get out there with these delicate little things, and he cares for them so much. Like it's so beautiful to see him, this big old guy, just like put this little head of lettuce in the soil, and he's like brushing the leaves because the soil got on the leaves, and he's smacking the bugs off. It's so nice to see him be able to find that zen and that comfort, in gardening. So we'll have gardening tips. We'll have some herbal medicine talk. We have some books that we dive into. Like, so when our children are sick, I'll be like, let me go get my book. One of them is called Back to the Garden of Eden, and it's like this thick. It's like a little mini Bible. And so when someone's sick in the house, depending on what kind of symptoms they have, we'll say, okay, well, we'll try to diagnose them ourselves. And then we'll go to our books and we'll see what herbs we have, and we'll use those herbs to help our children and help each other get better. Going back to what the tribes did, the tribes didn't have what we call modern medicine. They had tinctures, they had salves, and tinctures is just like when you take a herb and extract it with oil or alcohol, high content alcohol. A salve is just like a paste where they would boil the herbs and extract the oils, and you use the oils for the salve. So they had tinctures, they had salves, they had syrups. They would use the maple tree to make syrups and cough medicine. So they literally used everything that the Most High provided. And so we're going to talk about that too. The tribe that I'm highlighting, or one of the tribes I'm highlighting in this book, is the Wabash Indians of Miami County. And they were actually some of Indiana's medicine, like, gurus. They were holistic doctors, okay? They were very, very skilled at understanding medicinal purposes of herbs and plants and things like that. So they were healers. So we're going to talk about that sometimes too. Some of the other topics, such as parenting, breaking generational curses, overcoming fears, vision boards and affirmations, and much more. A sprinkle of humor and laughter as we embark on our Zelda quest together, because y'all know I'm a big Zelda fan. So I'm going to constantly say, we're going on a Zelda quest adventure. And I have started to say in the morning, okay, today's another Zelda quest. What's on the quest and the journey today? And doing my best to make sure that I see life as an adventure every day, and not some daunting task that I have to relive every day, because you get kind of caught up in the, I gotta go to work, I gotta pay these bills, I gotta do these chores, I gotta do this, and it doesn't seem fun, and so in the mornings now, I just thank the Most High. Thank you for my Zelda quest today. What's my Zelda quest gonna look like today? What gems and jewels am I going to pick up as a student? What are you teaching me today? So that's what we're going to dive into, some of the topics. Special guests, local entrepreneurs who will share some of their highs and lows to inspire you to go after the big dreams or goals. So I have a few people in my family and a few people in our circle that are entrepreneurs, and they have begun to break generational curses. And some of them are younger than me, and they're inspiring me to go out and do great things. So you'll have some time on here with us to learn about entrepreneurship and what does that look like, and the highs and lows of it. I mean, everybody's saying be an entrepreneur, be your own boss, but it comes with a sacrifice. Anything you want in this life, if it's a friendship, if it's a marriage, if it's even owning a pet, it comes with a sacrifice. If you want to get a house, it comes with a sacrifice. I want to touch on that. My husband and I want to touch on that too, because before we bought our home, everybody was like, well, you're renting, you're throwing your money away, right? When none of the money you have in this life you get to keep, okay? So the pros and cons of owning a home. It's a sacrifice. And literally you're leasing your home until you can pay the bank off, because you're essentially renting in a longer term, uh, until you can get all the paperwork that says you don't own the bank anymore and you can own your home. You're technically leasing your home. It's a mortgage, which is a contract that says you have to pay this amount of money on this day, just like you renting. But the other side to owning a home, the great sacrifice is you have expenses that a renter won't have. A renter won't have to deal with a roof or concrete pours to make their sidewalk look better or blacktop for their driveway. A renter won't have to deal with that. A homeowner will. A home leaser, like I said. I don't know if that's a term, but we're going to use that today. A home leaser, because you're leasing your home, because you're borrowing money from them, right? So we're going to talk about that, the pros and cons of owning a home, and what we have learned throughout the 5 years that we've been here. It'll be 5 years in June. Our home was a fixer-upper, 1960 brick ranch home, and every project we've done so far, we've had to bring it up to code because it was not up to code. It was rigged to the best of the previous owner's ability to keep things running. And the longer we live here, the more we understand why some of the old folks would rig certain stuff, because you can get into a situation where you're constantly paying on your home and fixing your home and repairing your home, and now you are in debt and you are broke. Okay? So we'll have certain conversations about real life things like parenting. One of the greatest responsibilities, in our opinion, as a parent is to protect their innocence, to protect the light, to protect them, guard their eyes and their ears and their heart from evil entities. And I don't care if you're religious or you're not religious. There is a dark force and a light force. There's always this duality out here, and every tongue on the face of this earth has described a good or bad experience with these entities. You know, like there's the good entities, what people call your high energy or your angels, and you have these dark forces, you call them reptilians or draconians or the fallen. I don't know what's in my eye. There's a balance of light and dark in the world. And as a parent, you have to guard your children, protect their light. So we'll talk about, some of the things that as parents we have learned to do and not do, changing how we parent from the previous generations and how they parent, and then taking some of the great things that those previous generations taught us and bring them into parenting, and just understanding that even as a parent, you don't have all the answers. We're quick to tell our children, I don't know, we can Google it, but we don't know. So like a wildflower, this channel will be all over the place. However, the goal is to have fun, heal, laugh, and enjoy the magical journey of life together. Stay tuned and remember to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss out. Thank you for stopping by today on the Beloved Wildflower. Always remember that no matter how chaotic this life gets, the scales are always balanced. You are the right character for your life story, and there is a wildflower blooming somewhere. Until next time, be kind to yourself and everyone else. I'm your host, Danielle, signing out. Have a great day.